We've all scrolled through Rightmove looking at houses. Sometimes the listings look good, sometimes the houses look bad, but we're going to discuss what makes a great Rightmove listing. Straight up, I want to talk about photos. The photo is the first thing you see on a Rightmove listing when you're scrolling through, looking at all those different houses, deciding which one to click on. That first photo draws you in. The quality of the photos needs to be excellent. Make sure you've got a professional photographer taking them and that they're covering all of the main rooms, some lifestyle shots in there, but particularly that first photo needs to stand out. Often at stories, we like to use twilight images as the first image that we do. It's warm, it's inviting, and it stands out amongst the crowd of other daytime shots that you'll often see. Another thing to consider is the order of the photos. People will look at the first few images the most, and you need to make sure they stand out and grab attention. Obviously, we've talked about the initial image already, but the follow-up images need to be the highlights of the home, some of those special features. Make sure that those first few images that people click on are going to make them go, wow. The second thing is the description. All that writing that you see on a Rightmove listing. You need to make sure it's detailed and gives as much information as possible, but you also want to paint a picture of the lifestyle of what it's going to be like living in that home. We use lifestyle descriptions that pick out those key features and get people excited about the idea of living there, often using owner quotes as well about what it's like to live there to try and give a real picture of that. But you also have to balance that with giving as much information as possible too. Next up is floor plans. Now, floor plans, this is one of the things that I look out for the most on Rightmove listings when I'm just looking for myself. I hate it when you look at a Rightmove listing and there isn't a floor plan. Floor plans are so important. People are visual and it helps them to understand the layout of a property and imagine what it'll be like to live there and how they might utilise the space. It's so important, so easy to do. Make sure those floor plans are accurate, have room dimensions for when people are imagining how their furniture might fit in the space. Such a simple thing to do, and make sure you get it right. Next up, we have the video tour. Lots of properties on Rightmove, they don't have video tours. If they do, sometimes they're the sort of the click-through video tours that you can do. I don't tend to use those. I like to use the floor plan, the pictures, and then the video tour we use to highlight the lifestyle of the home. My favourite video tours are the video tours that are presenter-led, somebody walking around the space, picking out the key features. It really gives a sense of what it's like for somebody to be in that space, bringing the home to life, rather than sort of a fisheye giving a false perception of how big the room is. If you can see somebody in that space, it makes it very real. They're my favourite type. As well with video tours, the reason they work is because that's how we consume content these days in the modern world, whether that's on Facebook, on Instagram, on Reels, on Shorts, here on YouTube. There's so many different ways that people are watching videos to absorb as much information as possible, and so you want to do that on a property listing too. Next, I want to talk about area. And no, I don't mean the space on the floor plan, that should be on there. I'm talking about the local vicinity to the property. People aren't just buying the four walls in a house, they're not buying just what's there, they're buying what their life is going to be like living there. So they want to know what's going on around the house. Are there fantastic amenities nearby? Where are the local schools, shops, train links, activities to do? Is it suited to family life? Is it in the countryside? You want to show off what's going on around. We often do this within the description, but we also do video tours to show off area guides too and bring to life the location of a property. The next thing I want to talk about is the price point. Now, there's lots of information out there about valuing properties, and you can find those in our other videos too. But when putting a price point on a Rightmove listing, we like to use a round number where possible. By round number, I mean one of the numbers that is often a search filter when you're looking on Rightmove. So if we're optimizing for Rightmove, people filter by the different prices on there. And if yours is on the line of one of those prices, more people will see it. You're in more searches. People are searching up to that number, from that number to another one. You're in more searches and more people will come across the property. The best Rightmove listings also highlight their keywords. There's a couple of places you can do this. Initially, in the title for the property. Most of these automatically generate the address. What we like to use is a catchy phrase that draws people in. The other main place to highlight these keywords is in those bullet points that come right near the top of the listing. Here is where you can highlight the location, the schools, the garage, whether it's got fantastic character features or is more open plan. Use this as an opportunity to get those buzzwords out there in front of people. Lastly, I want to talk about keeping a Rightmove listing up to date. Nobody likes looking at those properties on Rightmove that have been sat there, nothing's changed on them, they've been there for absolutely ages. People ignore them. You need to keep it up to date and relevant. So that's making sure all the information is reflective of any changes that have been made. If your outside photos were taken in the middle of winter and you're now in summertime, make sure you take some new outside photos that reflect how nice it is there in the summertime. Another thing you can do to make sure it looks fresh is to change what that first photo is, just so it appears slightly differently on Rightmove all the time. That way, more people will look at it. So those are some of the things that make a great Rightmove listing. I've given you 8 of my favourites there, but if you've got things that you look out for on a Rightmove listing, let us know in the comments below. If you want more advice about selling houses, check out this video next, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out, and I'll see you there.